So, what are Gallup home sellers misunderstanding about buyer demand today? One of the biggest mistakes I'm seeing sellers make right now in Gallup and McKinley County is they're assuming buyer demand looks the same way it did a few years ago. The market's changed, and that doesn't mean that homes aren't selling. It means that buyers are just behaving differently. Buyer demand still exists, but it's a little more selective, and they are being a little more informed and a little more patient. So just as an example, buyers today are comparing homes carefully. They're watching for price adjustments. They're paying attention to days on the market, and they're expecting value and not urgency. In past markets, urgency really did most of the work for a lot of our sellers, and today pricing and positioning is what's getting things done. Homes that are selling well usually are priced very, very well directly from the start. They are marketed professionally and a great amount of exposure, and they're aligning with buyer expectations on conditions and terms. What doesn't happen anymore is homes are typically not selling based on the peak market numbers, testing the market for 30 or 60 days without a plan to make adjustments rapidly, or waiting for buyers to stretch emotionally and finally come around to buying your property. The reality is buyers haven't disappeared, they've just become more disciplined. And the risk that sellers are often overlooking is that homes that sit too long are tending to sell for less money, not more, once the market is finally spoken. Sellers who adjust their pricing early usually protect more equity than sellers who chase the market later. Now, if you're thinking about selling in Gallup, New Mexico, the most important question is, can I sell? And then the next question is, how do I position my home correctly to sell in today's market? And that requires strategy and not guesswork. If you want a clear pricing and marketing plan based on today's Gallup market conditions, schedule a strategy session and let's work through it together. This is Jason Valentine with Caldwell Banker High Desert Realty. You can call me on my office at 505-863-4363 or call me on my cell at 575-496-1068. Again, buyer demand is still out there. They're just behaving differently than they did a few years ago. Set an appointment. We got links in the comments here. Let's make a strategy for you to get your home sold. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.